it's up to me to actually create the game.
My way of thinking about it has always been nobody is going to care about my career more than I do.
If I can't see them in action in something current, I'm I'm more likely to move on
It's
because they're
less
not.
useful for them. Getting a good, legit agent can be a complete game changer, so you're going to want to be completely prepared. So once Patrick and I started doing the deep dive and breaking it all down, there was so much gold, we had to split it into 2 episodes. Here in part 1, we're talking about what an agent can and can't actually do for you. Patrick shares stories from both Hollywood and New York, and we walk you through the exact materials you need to get taken seriously. Your headshot, your resume, your reel, your website. And hey, if you're listening on a podcast app, you might want to check this one out on YouTube, where we actually show examples of the materials we're talking about. If you've ever needed to look for an agent, this is the episode that will actually help you get one. Let's go. The Working Actor NYC, that's Patrick Richwood.
Gentlemen, Mr. Benjamin Howe.
This episode of The Working Actor NYC may contain profanity and some adult concepts, so please use your discretion.
Okay, so today we're talking about how to actually get a good acting agent. Everyone thinks that an agent is the magic answer. Here's the truth. There's a huge difference between an agent for a working actor and an agent for a name actor. So today we're breaking down what agents can really do for you and how to actually get one on your side.
That's a very good idea, Benjamin Howe.
You like that? You like that?
It's layers. You've layered it, haven't you?
It's got layers, like
It's got layers.
a
Well,
millefeuille.
it seems like in Hollywood, at least, it used to be. I feel like this is still an undercurrent in the conversation between actors about agents, which is if they're good, they have to be like rotten to the core. Like I don't want to be friends with my agent. I want them to be a hard ass monster, beat them. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
Have
Like
you ever had that relationship though? Have you ever worked with someone like that?
I have grazed working with people like that, but I've never stayed. That have wanted to sign me, and I've said no.
I can't imagine working with somebody like that.
I have friends who work with people like that. Their agents are top notch, but they're awful people.
Not people you would want to sit down and have a coffee with or a meal with or invite to your house.
No, I mean
Oh, I
not.
don't know about that, y'all.
Well, but that's not my point. The point is that a person like it doesn't have to be a soulless jackal in order to be a great agent.
Right. Is getting an agent the finish line?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so at all. Tell me what you think about that. As I get older, begin to feel that it's up to me to actually create the game called my career. It's up to me to lay out for an agent, this is what I think is possible. Let's strategize.
Right.
I want to get more into this or
I
do that,
mean,
or I want to be up for this or that, or
my
whatever.
way of thinking about it has always been nobody is going to care about my career more than I do.
That's true. Unless it's your mother.
No, she
doesn't give a shit.
laissez-faire. She could care less.
When are you going to stop with that acting stuff and do it? Get a real job.
I mean, a good agent can get you in the room for roles that you wouldn't necessarily hear about on your own. They can talk about you with casting and creatives. They can help you shape your career trajectory, your brand, your pitch, whatever. They can help you with that. And they can, of course, they negotiate contracts so that you're, fully protected and fairly paid and all the rest of it. But the job is yours. The work of the pitch, the audition, that's up to you. They can't magically create work for you where there isn't any.
Since we're not agents, we don't have a lot of us don't have an exactly accurate idea of what agents do, or what they're capable of doing. I've always found it an interesting profession because it's in one way it could be looked at as a bridge between 2 professions, which is casting and acting, or production and acting. From another angle, it could be considered a conflict of interest because you want to keep the casting directors buttered, but your agent is paying you. I mean, your actor is paying you. So it's a dance, in my opinion, for agents to, you know, keep those two plates in the air in a good way,
Right.
not a conflict of interest. Like there have been times when I've had conversations with my agent. I'm like, well, did you pitch me for that thing, that role or whatever? And they're like, look, this is the role they want to see you for. Your best bet is to go in there and do your best for that role and see if they'll be see you for the other. But I can't keep asking because they've tuned out. And I'm like, and my first instinct is, well, what? Or they won't return my call anymore because they're seeing you. And my first instinct is like, well, why not? Why don't you call them up and say, wait a minute, hold on a second. The role that Patrick should be seen for and the one that he's interested in is, but I know better because I know that they they're having to deal with that casting director on the daily.
Yeah, the really what we're talking about is there's this big difference between an agent of a working actor and the agent of a name actor or somebody with a bit more clout and a bit of heavy hit behind them already.
Yeah, that's not going to apply to not our audience probably because it
Agreed.
doesn't apply to us. Why? Because we're talking about a level of negotiation where the people on the other side are behind the eight ball.
Yeah, then the agent role becomes about strategizing your career brand and your trajectory and which roles fit you. It's less get me into the room and more which room is right for your brand and for the next 5 years of your career trajectory. That's different.
If it's a good agent, there are plenty of people with names out there whose agents are not molding their careers or they're just saying yes. It's
Right.
the highest bidder. There's lots of agents like that too. It's an art. I remember when I got cast in a TV series. This was my first
I
series.
was going to say you can really speak about this because yeah.
Well, I was actually in the room. So I didn't have an agent when I got cast in this series. This was the role that was written for me. It sounds so stupid to say, but it was written for me by Gary Marshall for this particular series because he liked me. Like we met, he thought I was funny. He was like, I think I got a role. Anyway.
And your series ended up a prime time slot on a Thursday night between Cheers and LA Law. Is that correct?
How do you remember that?
Because some things I file, but this was like
Yeah.
golden slot.
Anyway, the show wasn't well liked on the street, so people were like, "Oh, I saw you on that show. It's a lousy show, but you're good on."
Exactly.
Like it wasn't lousy, but it was, anyway, whatever. Point is, I didn't have an agent, and my a family friend, Tom Kuhn, who is a really great guy and a big television producer, in his heyday, said, "I'll hook you up with mine. He'll do it gratis."
But that was a lawyer, not an agent, right?
Well, it was yes, because entertainment lawyers were needed for people at his level because they were getting into legal with the studio and
Yeah, of course.
release deals and wide release and all that stuff. So, but they did all the things an agent does. So this guy Stan Weissman said, "Come on in the room. You can listen to the call." I listened while he negotiated on my behalf for a salary for a network TV series, and it was both fascinating and humbling because one minute I was like the next, the next great thing Gary Marshall himself is like, written this part for this guy. And the next minute I'm a piece of meat because it depended on what he needed. When he needed one thing, he was like, "You don't understand who you've got here." And when he could give something up, he was like, "Who cares? He's just another actor. You can go ahead and give it to him. Nothing's going to happen." You know what I mean? He just and I was like,
And now, when that series came to an end and you went back to New York, you must have had agents beating down your door.
I didn't have agents beating down my door, but any door I knocked on opened because I was on
What
network
a
TV. In New York, especially back in the 80s, it was like people weren't mixing it up the way they do now. You didn't need a TV series to get on Broadway. Now, in fact, true story, an agent who was coming up in the agenting world, who was with an agency then, a large mid-sized agency called The Agency, approached me and said, "We would love to work with you. We think you're golden. We just we'd come in, meet everybody, sign with us. You television career. This isn't going places. The next thing will take you movies." And I actually thought, because I was only, well, let's see, how old was I? About 25, 24, 25, I guess. I thought, oh, no, I want to go to New York and be on Broadway. That's my dream. And he was like, well, think about it. Okay. So I thought about it. Wasn't thinking about it too much. I was doing the series. When the series got canceled, I called him and I said, I'd like to meet. And he was like, oh, that ship has sailed. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That fast.
Yeah. I mean, again, agenting is a business. While I was on television, you can't beat that kind of pitch worthiness.
Right.
All you got to do is say, turn on channel 4 and you'll see what we're talking about. But the minute that was over, this guy was like, yeah, I can't. That offer's off the table now.
If you're in the working actor camp, which we are, let's talk about how to actually go about what are the strategies for getting a good agent. I think, sorry, I know you love it when I say
I
reckon
love
because it's
that.
Australian, but I think that the first place to start is getting your materials in order. Get your house ready for the inspection, honey. Like, so we're talking,
Is that a euphemism?
I was thinking real estate, but I don't know what you were thinking, Patrick. But
No, I
so
was
we're
thinking.
talking strong professional headshots specific to your type or types or your castable roles. I just happen to have mine here.
Oh, excellent. Look at that.
I love this photo.
It's a
And
good photo.
this is a very expensive LA headshot duo. And it's something that I feel good about investing the money into personally, because I only use them when I have the money and I happen to be in LA doing something else. So it's not something that I get done frequently, but it is something I get done every sort of 5 to 10 years. Um, which means that these are probably too old now. But the reason that I adore, you probably can't see it on this, but the reason I
Mhm.
adore this headshot photographer is because the eyes become the absolute focus of the photograph.
Yeah,
And I look at every single one of their photographs, and the eyes are like magnets in those photographs. I don't know
that's
how they do
cool.
it, but it's why I'm obsessed with them. But I
That's
have a suite of maybe 6 photographs from them that my agents use and are on my casting networks and actors access pages so that they can choose whichever shot happens to be more appropriate for whatever project it is that's going in for. But you've got to get
a fan of the editorial shot. I like that better. By editorial, I mean I like shots that you might see in a magazine where the person is just caught off guard. I like those kind of shots. To me, those are great. If as my
I think as part of a suite of photographs that's super
as my
useful.
generic shot, yeah, right, exactly. I have learned over the years, I resist it, but I have learned over the years, it's great to feed them the exact ingredient you want them to eat. So
Agreed.
if I'm going to be going up for all those quirky expert witnesses and professors that have to explain why the Earth will blow up if you or whatever, I I have to feed them that in a photo.
In a photo.
I
But
resist it because it makes me feel like a dancing puppy, and I know that that is uh my framing of it. Because
that's your stuff.
yeah, that's my stuff.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before. I get past it, but the resistance comes from, like you know, I'm me. I'm a unicorn. You just have to trust that I can do it.
Are you though?
Yeah, I'm wearing this hat right now to hide my horn.
I agree. Look, editorial 100% has its total validity and complete use, particularly when you're trying to make the step from co-star to guest star. I think that helping casting see you as somebody who is magazine worthy, whatever that means,
Yeah.
is super helpful in that respect. You got to get your headshots. You've got to have a clean, well formatted resume that reflects actual credits and training. And
I also have 2 different resumes. If I'm going in for
I
a
had a
theater
question about this. Yeah, tell me about this. You have 2 different
well,
ones.
yeah, I'll put all my theater credits at the top. If it's like, let's say, a Steppenwolf, I'm gonna put all my theater credits at the top because I picture them going, fuck you with your movie credits. And
Okay.
I stick those next, and also on
If it's
all
TV and film, you flip it. And
yeah, or regular in general regional theater, because then I feel like this gives me credibility in general in the business. They can see the timeline of my
can
career.
I show you mine so that you can laugh at me?
I'm not going to laugh at you. Why would I laugh at you? No. What?
Look how fucking complicated and cluttered this resume is.
I
And
can
I
quit.
don't say that as a humble brag. I say that because I'm like, okay, so what we have, let me break it down for you. On my resume, I have 11 film and television credits at the top, right? That's not all of them. I think I took some out recently. Because I mean, this page is so cluttered that I now have to take things out in order to add any new credits, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Then we go down. I have 3 Broadway shows. That's
yeah.
all of them. I have 3 First National Tours. That's all of them. I have 3 off-Broadway credits. That's a selection. The 3 most, I don't know,
Right.
prestigious or informative. Then I have some regional credits. This is 11 credits of, I was trying to think about this. If I've done like 3 shows a year for the last, I don't know, I've been in America 25 years, but let's say I've done averaged 3 shows a year for the last 20 years. That's 60 credits, and I've cut it down to 11.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
for some reason at the bottom, I have the 2 Australian credits from over 25 years ago, just to tell the story that I am actually Australian. And then 1 line
Just
of
say, does
training.
a really great Australian accent. You can totally ask me to do it, and I'll do it. No,
But
no,
I've
no.
just gotta, I feel like I need to take my own advice and clean that up, and
I would take out the Australian credits.
the Australian credits have to go. I feel
What's the
like,
last thing? What's that thing at the bottom?
oh, 1 line of training, like Upright Citizens Brigade, The Pit, HB Studios, Shakespeare& and Company, and University of New South Wales in Australia.
I don't know. It's a little bit cluttered, but it's like,
It's so
I
cluttered.
mean, I like that you have it in categories. I like that it's film and TV, Broadway, national tour, regional, select regional. I think
Yeah,
that's pretty great. I think you just need a little more room on the page.
I do need more room on the page.
Maybe one uh, point size down in the font. I mean, in the
It's already
font.
down to 9. I don't wanna make them squint.
What is it?
I think I just need less. I don't know. Why do I have like I had a supporting role in a film called Miles that starred Molly Shannon and Paul Reiser, and it didn't do anything. The director was Nathan Adloff, who at one point had a moment, and I'm like, it doesn't mean anything to anybody. Do I keep it on there because it shows that I've done a film? Well, I've done 2
No,
films, but
take it off.
take it
Take it
off,
off.
right?
Yeah, if you yeah. What's
I don't think it tells anybody anything. In order for you to send out your materials to an agent, yes, you have to have all of this in PDF. You have to have your resume in PDF. You have to have your your headshots in a downloadable, friendly format, and your reels.
Mhm.
Now, I have feelings and opinions about reels. Obviously, a reel is a video of you doing what you do. I only have a reel of television stuff that I have been in, like actual network TV shows. And I have pulled those at great difficulty and expense. I have managed to clip my stuff out of the latest, my episode on Elspeth, or my episode on Gossip Girl, or my episode on Full Circle, whatever. But that's my reel. Again, I think that's got to be short and concise and show your best stuff. I think showing everything you've ever done on television is probably boring,
Well, they
and they'll
just won't
stop
see it. They
watching.
won't
They
yeah,
won't watch.
they don't have time. They just really it boils down to time. There's another thing you left out, which is current. It's, it's really good to have certain things on there that you feel are, let's say, like I have things in my career that people would define as iconic.
Yeah.
Those are in there.
Pretty
But
Woman.
or whatever, right? But those are in there. But the casting director, the age of the casting director is um, dropping. The next generation.
Yes.
So it's not really gonna be all that relevant as I get older. Plus, it's me when I was young. If I'm a director and I go immediately to someone's website or IMDb so I can see them in action. if I can't see them in action in something current, I'm less likely to I'm more likely to move on
It's
because they're
less
not.
useful for them.
Yeah, I can't see who they're gonna
It
be 5
shows who
years.
you were in the 90s, but it doesn't necessarily show who you are right now.
Right, right.
But you
So,
did just mention something else that I think is super helpful. I don't think it's a roadblock, but have a website where all of this stuff, your headshots, your resume, and your reels are readily available. And I say reels because in musical theater, I think it's totally valid to have a reel of you singing stuff. If you're a dancer, have a reel of you dancing stuff. Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and and I
absolutely.
also think that if you don't have network television credits, I think it can be super valuable to create scenes specifically for your reel, and there are companies out there that can do that.
I wanna do that. Does that sound like fun? I
It does
actually think
A, it
like
just
fun.
sounds like fun,
I
right?
I think so. I kinda wanna do that. I don't have the here in my house, I don't have the means to shoot it so that it looks real.
There
Like,
are there are
like
companies out there that this is what they do. There are companies out there that
yeah,
shoot
but
reels
we
for
should
actors.
say that that's probably really expensive.
It is expensive. You have to decide whether or not that's an investment that you want to make at this point in your career.
I prefer little short clips that you can situate all in one on one website. For me, I situate them on both on Actors Access and on IMDb, which are both such useful tools. I'm not
Casting networks is another good one as well.
Casting Networks is a good one. I have
More
it.
for
I have
commercial, but yeah.
yeah. I've got and commercials is a separate thing.
Separate. We're talking
Commercial
about legit agents here, not commercial agents. So
yeah, which isn't that funny that we still call them legit agents, like as if the commercial agents aren't legit.
Wee-hoo, that might be the most informative we've ever sounded. Patrick and I were giving full wise elder energy in this one. Enjoy that. It's rare. But don't go submitting your stuff just yet. Part 2 drops August 18th, and that's where we get into the real science of submissions. How to target the right agents the right way at the right time so you actually have a shot of breaking through all that industry noise. Hit subscribe, follow the show, do whatever you gotta do, but don't miss part 2. You're closer than you think.